Feeling good, feeling good. Okay, the people want to know. The people want to know. How do you get featured in major magazines, in big publications, in places where you can get your name seen and then you seem like a big shot? How do you do it? So, time for me to drop some ego bombs on you. I have been in Time magazine. We're talking online, okay, which is the only fucking thing that matters anymore anyway. Don't talk to me about the print magazine. Time magazine, Fortune, Inc., Entrepreneur, Huffington Post, Business Insider, Fox News. The list goes on. I've been in all those. How have I gotten to get in those publications? When I used to look at those, maybe even 4 or 5 years ago, 3 or 4 years ago, actually, I would think, who am I gonna need to sleep with? like whose ass do I need to kiss to be able to get in these publications? And I also assumed that that everyone who's in those publications is getting paid. So first of all, here's the dirty truth about publications like Inc. and all those other big magazines that you see out there that are publishing authors and make people seem very prestigious. Number one, the authors who contribute there don't get paid. So maybe that's a no-brainer to some people, but my grandmother was very surprised that I wasn't getting paid for my writing at Time. So contributors there don't get paid because part of the, I guess maybe even the whole payment of contributing to a magazine or a newspaper like that or a big outlet is the prestige that comes with having that name associated with you. So if people type in Daniel DiPiazza and they see Entrepreneur Magazine next to my name, it makes me seem better. So part of the intrinsic value of publishing with these places is that you get your name associated with theirs, and that's good for your credibility. But that's kind of it. I mean, they offer a lot of exposure, and that's a great form of payment, but that's pretty much all you get. You get your name next to it, and you get your words spread to more people. Okay, second myth is that once you get in these publications, you're going to blow up and everything is going to explode and you're going to get tons of traffic to your website. People are going to be knocking down your door asking to hire you to do, $50,000 keynotes. That's not true either. The reality with these publications is that just like with any type of content that you make online, for every 100 pieces that you write, 99% of them will just do okay, and the 1 or 2 that you wrote that maybe you didn't even expect to do that well will explode for no reason whatsoever. Last year, I had one of the most shared articles on Entrepreneur Magazine ever, and it got 83,000 shares, something nuts. Well, that wasn't the most ever, but it was the most for that first most of the year last year. It was a lot, and that did really well for me. But then I maybe only had 1 or 2 other articles on Entrepreneur last year that really blew up. And so just because you get featured in one of these magazines doesn't mean that every door unlocks and that you get tons of visitors and traffic. But the reason why they work so well is that over time, the links that you build in those publications add up, and you start to get more traffic after a while, and people start noticing you. But it takes many, many, many articles like that to finally get some steam and pick up the flow, right? You have to be consistent with it, okay? So that's the second thing, the second myth. And the third myth is, what is the third myth? Oh yeah, third myth is that it's hard to get in to these publications. Not as hard as you might think. And so, shameless self-plug again, because this is my video, I can do what I want. Shameless self-plug again, you can work your way up through this whole system of getting into these magazines, and I have a whole course that I made on this called Front Page Formula. I'll put the little link to get more information in this description box below, whatever. So Front Page Formula. But here's the overall picture of it. There's a stair step to how you approach the process of getting published in one of these magazines. So first you got to realize there are tiers. So Huffington Post, which is a well-known publication which has a certain level of prestige, is still what I consider, this is just me, tier 3, meaning it's popular, it's well known, but it's not necessarily hard to get into. How did I get into Huffington Post? Well, I emailed Ariana Huffington. You can find her email address very easily. It's not hard. It's actually relatively simple. And for whatever reason, she has made it her personal mission to respond to people who email her, and I've had like 4 or 5 friends now, plus students, who've said they emailed her and she let them write for Huffington Post. So there you go, solved your problem there. Then as you get into more tier 1s like Huffington Post, Life Hack, other things like that, you can move up to tier 2. And tier 2 is where really the game, like it's like the bread and butter. So tier 2 is like Entrepreneur, Business Insider, places like that, right? Maybe even Forbes at this point. And the way that you get in there is that you find the names of editors that work at these publications. There are several tools you can use to do this. One tool that I use is called Email Hunter. I'll put that link in this thing too. Okay, so you can use Email Hunter to find the editors, and once you get into a tier 2 publication, that's where the magic starts to happen, because you get syndicated and picked up, which means that once you start writing for places like Entrepreneur and Business Insider, other bigger places pick up those pieces. So if you get an Entrepreneur, Time often syndicates from Entrepreneur, and you can get featured in Time just because you were an Entrepreneur and you worked your way up. So through working your way up through the stair system, because like tier 2 is Entrepreneur, Business Insider, tier 3 would be like Time, Fortune, Inc., places like that are more prestigious. When you work your way up that track, you can do it one step at a time, and it's not impossible. You just have to start at the right tier, which is kind of what I talk about in Front Page Formula. But that's kind of the big thing around publishing. So, what is your dream outlet? Like, where do you want to be featured? Because this isn't just about entrepreneurship magazines. There's a lot of other publications people want to get into. So, what magazine would like completely make your life if you were featured in, or what newspaper? And where are you writing right now? Share some of your writing with us below if you're a writer. Look down in the comments, tell me how you like this video, and don't forget to subscribe and share if it helped you. All right, peace out.